Hey there, this is Chad with Hookup Baits. Welcome to the Hookup Baits podcast. The hostess with the mostest, JoJo, isn't going to do this one. We're going to do just a little bit of man hour with two of my favorite guys. Two of my favorite guys to fish with, and just two of my favorite guys in general. Don Brown and Bill Boyce. So we've had some, just in a short time, just within the last 2 years.
Yep.
But we've had some epic adventures together.
Yeah.
Just taking hookup baits and going across the country and catching fish wherever we can find them, right?
And blowing minds.
Blowing minds.
Everywhere we go, yeah.
And it's been so fun. So I'm just gonna share a couple of those trips that we've done together, and just the experiences that the three of us travel so well together, and I mean, the one traveling is coming back from Klamath Falls Lake last year, and then we're coming down to fish Northern California, and we just had the station on the radio that was playing this classic rock, and we're playing it loud.
Yeah.
And it was just and driving through the mountains.
Oh, it's beautiful. Northern
Right?
California, Northeastern
How
California.
else would you listen to classic rock? That's what the volume is for. Come on.
Right? And it was just out, and I'm always the backseat guy, these guys, Don was driving, and Bill's in the shotgun, and I just sit in the back of the seat, and I was just like, and traveling is usually the worst part of the trip, right?
It was a good day. It was
That
light
day,
rain,
it was
all
raining.
good.
Yeah, exactly.
Went past the Oregon Trail a couple places.
We're following the Oregon
history,
Trail.
The history of the area.
And it was one of the most enjoyable just driving to the next destination on a trip I can ever remember.
Well, you did just leave Klamath Falls, where the fishing was fantastic.
Yeah, right.
And I was going to go show off Lake Amador, which I love.
And I love
turned out
fishing a
great.
new place. I mean, so I was stoked to go fish a new place, with a guide that's been fishing there forever. Right? I mean, so.
And new baits.
A fish that never seen the
I fished Amador
baits.
years ago when I was in college up in Susanville, but never the hookup baits.
Yeah.
We just knew they were.
Oh, we just lit them up that day. It was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of my fondest memories of, the three of us fishing together.
Within a short 5-day period of time, we fished Klamath Falls for trout. We fished Lake Amador for smallmouth and trout. And then we went over to Clear Lake and we fished largemouth bass. And then we got into crappie bite. Yeah. And then you went home and we took off and went to Lake Orville.
Yeah.
So,
we had
a good time.
Spotted bass. Yeah.
All on hookup baits.
Yeah.
Everything was on hookup baits. It was good.
That's just crazy. That versatility of the baits is just.
Every species eats them.
Well, we learned a lot because we finally got a hold of your fishing rods and figured out exactly what lines and leaders you were using. And promptly went to the store and made sure we were not at quite a big a disadvantage anymore.
Yeah. I remember my nickname at Klamath Falls was the vacuum, right? That's what you call me.
You were. For a while. We
the-
still had some good moments.
Yeah.
We still did our part.
You got the JP fish.
Yeah,
that
he
night.
did get the biggest one.
I did get a brown, which we were all shocked at.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, there's not supposed to be very many brown trout in that lake, and Don caught a brown trout.
It was like we'd drive down the lake and you'd just go, well, I think I'll try here. Go stop here. We'll look at it. It was like, okay. 2 or 3 fish later, we'd look at each other and go, okay, there's something going on here. And we did. We figured it out. It was good, though. It was a great trip.
That was awesome.
Really did well.
It's so much fun. We got to do that again. So, and then the other one was when I went up and met you in Seattle. Well, we fished our way from Seattle back to California. That was like awesome. Yeah,
Great trip.
Bill had a boat show, and he towed his boat up there for the boat show, and it was in Seattle, right?
It was in Anacortes.
Okay, yeah. So then I flew up to Seattle, met you, and you had the boat.
Yeah.
It was fish our way back to California. And
Yeah.
so we started right there in the what is it? The
Puget Sound.
Puget Sound, yeah. And
Have you guys ever made a list of what, just in the last 12, 13, 14 months, how many different species of fish we've caught on hookup baits?
I know, right?
I know.
No, but we
my list
should.
keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yes,
And it's
no,
kind
that'd
of
be an
amazing.
impressive thing to do.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah, we
absolutely
caught
should.
salmon on them on that trip.
Yes.
I've caught halibut on them.
Oh, yeah.
And then we go to, so we're reading these stories about, Lake Odell, lake trout in Oregon. And it's like June's the time to be fishing. We're
Yeah,
talking
the
fall.
worst time to go lake trout fishing. But
Yeah.
we're like,
We'll give it a shot. We're
yeah.
there.
And when you have confidence in baits,
That's right.
it's just like, it don't matter if it's off season, let's go. Because we've learned from our other trips.
absolutely.
People say, oh, it's dead. There's no fish biting. Okay. Yeah.
And I fished lake trout with you when we did that TV show.
That's right, we did
that
TV
Bill Boyce
show
Callis
years ago.
show in
That's right.
Tahoe. and we were fishing these pinnacles, deep pinnacles with jigs, and those lake trout were just stacked on those pinnacles.
That's right. Summertime
Interesting
stack.
behavior for trout,
That's
right?
what they are. Yep.
So we get to Lake Odell, and I go, hey man, we just gotta find some pinnacles. They should be on top of those pinnacles. And we launched the boat.
We launched the boat, went out there, and I think it was your second cast.
Yes.
Boom! Oh, got one. I'm like, pulls up like a 12 or 15 pound lake trout. Yeah. We're like, wow, that was easy. This is gonna be awesome.
we were just talking.
Yeah, it's so easy because we were marking fish.
Yeah.
We
the rest of the day catch nothing.
I was just setting a trip up to go to Flaming Gorge to fish hookup baits, and just after ice out, and we're talking with my buddy that's going. John's going, and he goes, you know, Don, after doing all the research, why don't we just go in August when they're sitting on the pinnacles, and we'll just go do that. I was like, okay, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Why change up? If you know what's working, just do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So instead of having them scattered, find them where they're isolated in a summer.
I went up there last summer on my kayak, a solo trip. Yep. And I did hook a big one on my kayak. And it towed me around for a second, but then came unbuttoned. But, you know, because just a month or two prior, so I went up there and caught a 26-pounder. And this one felt all
we're going to go a little
pounds,
different.
So.
We're going to go a little different. We're taking a 22-foot boat with really good electronics and a lot of tackle. So we'll have a little more adventure.
A little bit more,
Right on.
Well, that's the first time I went there. It was the guy that guides up there, and you know, he invited me up to fish with him. And you know, it was one of those things where you see your jig falling on the screen, you see the fish reacting to it. It's all like playing a video game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it is.
It's like playing.
It's like playing a fishing video game.
You do really good at Pyramid Lake in your kayak too.
Oh yeah. I love Pyramid in my kayak. That's good stuff.
I went and bought a kayak, but they asked if I could get a wider one and a longer one. I don't know what the weight limitation was, but I had to get.
You'll be good at
so
PA
big,
14.
I got to put it on a trailer. That's not a good sign.
Yeah, no, the PA 14s are.
The first time I fished hookup baits with Don was Pyramid. Remember?
Yeah,
I came up the Pyramid, and he has, because he's fished there a lot. I mean, there's jigs that work really well. They look, the stuff looks like a P line, kind of like mega bait, stuff you can trick them. And I had those hookup baits, and he goes, "These look good. You know, these are definitely going to work." And I caught some fish on them, and then we're using his techniques as well, and then, but he really liked the way they fish. I mean, he's been a tournament bass fisherman for years. He only has to take one look at a bait in the water. That's fishy. I like that. Yeah, and as soon as he saw the way they just kind of darted and stuff, it's already, the clutch was already engaged. He already knew where he was going to fish those baits, and in what conditions.
I remember that phone call when you called me. And told me about Don. You told me about Don and everything he's done and how much he likes the baits already. And I'm like, right on.
And then we fished Clear Lake.
We've done Clear Lake. Yeah.
I only wanted to fish hookup baits. I was going to stick to that bait, right? Because if you're fishing against a guy who knows that lake, he guides on that lake, and he's fishing his favorite stuff. It's a real good,
better test, right?
Yeah, exactly. If I can keep 1 to 5 on him, that'd be amazing, right?
Exactly right.
But I wasn't beating him, but I was keeping. But I was fishing some fun stuff, and it's the first time you'd ever seen where he had the two.
The double rig.
Yeah.
Double rig.
It's awesome, and it's a nightmare.
Matters what you're fishing for.
It's awesome if you're catching smaller fish. You start taking it on Pyramid Lake and fish those bigger fish.
Yeah.
2 of those big fish at one time
it makes it not fun.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying not to.
You're trying not to hurt them and get them back in the water, but for.
See, like what we're going to be doing tomorrow on my boat, we're fishing double rig the whole time. Yeah. But you're fishing calicos and sand bass. You can flop them on the deck and let them flip around. The calicos and sand bass are so freaking tough. You can't hurt them. So that makes the double rig fine. It's no problem. But with 2 big trout, it's a whole different thing.
And I've talked to him. He's seen the photographs. He's always wanted to make a trip with you and me with the hookup baits in northern Baja. He's heard about these stories. He's seen the photos. So to get Don, right, this consummate professional largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, spotted bass fisherman, on some saltwater bass in Mexico on these baits.
I was at the Fred Hall show 20 years ago, and I was invited to go out to the islands on an overnight trip to fish for whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And all of a sudden we're fishing barracuda and sculpin, and then the guy goes, "We're going to go fish calico bass." And I went, okay. And then I hooked a couple calico bass, and, they were 2.5 pounds. And I thought, well, these are good. And I hooked about 3.5, and the guy comes over and says, "That's awesome." I'm thinking calico bass are 5, 6, 7 pounds.
No.
And I'm thinking these are
tomorrow
smaller than what we get for bass fishing. But what a great fish. Great area, stuff to do it on right on the islands and stuff.
Absolutely.
And then I start seeing your pictures, and I'm like,
That's a different
Those are
fish.
calico bass on steroids. Those are good.
Yeah.
So the opportunity tomorrow to go out and do it, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we likely.
I don't know if I'm looking forward to the run of the boat, but I'm looking forward to the fishing.
You'll be fine. Yeah, it is a little bit of a run, but when you're doing 40 miles an hour, it's just an hour.
And it's following sea coming home.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's always my rule of going down to northern Baja is 10 miles an hour of wind.
Right.
That's where your limit. And tomorrow it's only getting up to 8, 9.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
We're under the limit. We're good.
Yeah, there's going to be some good news and some bad news. What do you want to hear first?
I want to know how bad I'm going to beat you.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Good news and bad news. I'm not going to try to beat him. I know better.
So,
good news?
The good news is you just might beat me.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Because I'm only going to be fishing a single bait. And you can
Yeah.
fish
That Bill, he does that every time. He throws a big bait, but a single one. He big game hunts the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And then everyone else does the double rig, so they're catching 2 at a time.
Well,
He's
it's
catching
good.
1
You
at a
got to
time.
mix that up because you got to have a big bait in the water.
Yeah.
But the bad news is we may catch a white sea bass or a yellowtail.
Yeah. 2 fish I've never caught. I haven't caught a white sea bass or a
Oh my
yellowtail.
God, that'd be awesome.
So, add another one to the list.
Yeah,
That'd
that
be cool.
opportunity for we get them all the time down there.
We're down there fishing, and Chad's telling me these stories, and it was, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and he has photographs to prove it. And I think it was a winter trip you guys had made down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we fish it year round.
Yeah.
So.
But they got on a winter bite of yellows, like offshore, like what, Finger Bank or someplace like that?
No,
right?
not even that. It's just right off the beach and off of Tijuana.
When you find them, you find them.
It was on our way down, and we found them. Yeah, we just.
So they're getting yellows, and then I think
we started
Frank?
catching tuna. No, it was a Cameron.
Cameron hooks up a fish,
yeah.
and it's like, this one's not fighting like a yellowtail. Brings up a king salmon.
Oh, that one.
Oh, my goodness.
That was the
really?
rock pile. Yeah, that was the rock pile. Yeah.
So they got a
King
photograph.
salmon.
They got a photograph of
Yeah,
a
yellowtail in one hand
and a king salmon caught in Mexico.
Right?
I never
It's like,
realized
what?
that Southern California used to have steelhead and
Yes,
salmon.
absolutely.
They used to be, the
and that's
rivers.
just the remnants of the
But
runs that
some of them
used to
still
come down.
around, running up the ocean. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Catch
that's
nobody's
catching
ever
salmon
been
in
surprised
Mexico.
fishing.
on a
was just
double
like,
hookup. On a double hookup, a yellowtail and a salmon.
That's crazy.
On a hookup bait.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody can say that.
Everything. Yeah.
So yeah, we're looking forward to doing this with you tomorrow, Don.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
But Don fishes a lot of striped bass up there. He fishes, obviously all the other stuff. But he's a
spotted
big
bass,
trout guy. He's done a lot of fly fishing as well. But he fishes, Argentina and all these. Can you imagine taking some hookup baits down to Argentina?
Oh, 1st of May next year, I'm down there for the first 2 weeks. There will be golden dorado caught on hookup baits. Absolutely. They won't come back because the fish, their teeth there are pretty massive.
Oh, yeah.
Tear them up quick.
I'll
but
give you
we'll
plenty.
We'll go through it and do a lot of fun.
Well, you got the piranha down there. That's what kind
Well,
of.
the piranhas are, they're not little piranhas. They're the
big.
black piranha. It's, size of a 3-pound crappie.
Wow.
And the teeth are the size a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And they hit really hard and they fight hard, but, you just let them go,
Yeah.
But that's their natural area.
Yeah.
So we'll see golden dorado and piranha and catfish, and we'll catch a little bit of all of them. It's fun to do. It's something different.
That'd be a blast.
It is.
Heck yeah.
You ought to go someday.
I shall.
I mean, I know you don't like doing any shotgun hunting or anything, so waterfowl and doves, that's no fun. Why would you mix that with a fishing trip?
And
ever?
the dove hunting down there, it's like illegal to actually
crazy,
aim.
yeah.
You just got to shoot from the
No,
hip like
you
John
got to
Wayne.
pick one at a time.
They're coming in. They're coming.
Yeah.
It's an agricultural pest, so you're
Yeah.
actually helping
Right.
out.
Right.
And the shotgun manufacturers love it because you use so many shells.
Oh yeah.
But
shells are cheap.
It's a great place to visit.
I'm all about
Hopefully,
that.
I'll
someday.
make a trip down to Jurassic Lake next year.
Yeah, that's
Great
one of
big
my bucket list
McLeod
places.
River rainbows that are up in the 20-pound range, and a lot of 15s and 18s.
That is my bucket
Unreal.
list.
And they all came out of the
the
McLeod
Jurassic-
River fishery, which is world class.
Well, I follow them on Instagram and Facebook, so
Yeah.
and they
Okay.
post a lot of
Yeah.
social media stuff,
Okay.
and they're just always posting this river full of these 10 to 20 pound rainbows.
the river
and
coming in when
stuff.
they're
It's
right
just
there,
it's just
they're-
crazy.
they're
I'm just
chucked.
sitting there going, "Oh my God, what
Yeah.
a hookup bait would do right there!
Yeah.
It'd be
Imagine that.
insane."
So I was down in January. I've always wanted to fish largemouth bass in Mexico. All these guys.
That's right. You
All
went
these
down to
charter
fishery.
trips. You see them at Fred Hall shows,
yeah.
And a
El
lot
El
of pro bass
Salto
guys
and
go
all
there.
those, yeah.
This is really, and you've been there many,
Well,
many
you
times
go
fishing.
you go down early before the normal season starts. Up here you're winter bass fishing. You've got gloves on and you're warm. You're dressed warm,
Right.
and you go out and fish for 5 or 6 hours. You go back and warm up. Or you can go to Mexico and wear a pair of shorts and a shirt and go fishing.
Right. So I'd always heard about that. And Brian Solomon from Solomon's Landing Restaurant down there in Cabo goes, I did this a couple times the last couple of years. It's a really great little resort. And so we went to Lake Bacharach. And this guy, the guide and manager of the resort, Narlin, super nice guy, just like Marlin with an N. Narlin picks us up at the hotel there in Las Mochas. We're driving up, a 2-hour drive, and speaks perfect English. He's kind of sizing it up, you know, guides do. They want to be on a boat with the next couple of days, right? So he kind of sees our experience. He goes, "Oh, that's cool, it's cool, it's cool." He goes, "And what do you be fishing with? Did you guys bring a lot of tackle?" I go, "I just got a couple boxes of lures, little hookup baits." He goes, "I don't know what those. I've never heard of them." I'll show them to you when you get to the rest of the resort. So we get to the resort. We're going to just fish that afternoon, and then we have 2 more full days of fishing. So I guess our margaritas, our food. I'm looking over this lake, beautiful spot. You know, they give us the best hotel room there. And he comes walking up and goes, "So where are these hookup things?" I go, "Oh yeah, hookup baits." I go, "They're in that box right there." He pulls them out, and I'll tell you right now, he opened them up. It's just no impression at all.
just looked at him.
He's expecting all kinds. He's really trick stuff. And he goes, "Do you have anything else?" I go, "No, I'm gonna fish these." He goes, "I'm gonna tell you, Bill, I'm not sure these are gonna work here."
Oh, wow.
I go,
I love when people tell me that.
I go, "Well, Narlin, do these bass eat bait here?" He goes, "Well, of course they eat bait. Why would you ask that?" I go, "Then they'll eat these."
Right?
So we're out that afternoon. He's fishing all his favorite stuff. I outfished the guide my first time on the lake that afternoon, right? And he goes, "I'm not going to fish one tonight, but tomorrow I need to fish these baits."
Yeah.
That's all I fished all week, right?
That's all it takes.
The last day we were there, and it's supposed to be known as a trophy bass fisherman, and the fishing was really slow.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting 20 fish days between 3 of us. That's not wide open.
Yeah.
We should be getting 70, 80 fish days.
Right.
You were having to work
and we're
for
getting
it.
we're sticking some 6 and 7s, but nothing, no double-digit fish.
Yeah.
It's getting really, really late. It's kind of, the sun's going down, and some of the guys, those really, really high-end Mexican anglers and charter guys, they're all there because there's a lot of bass guys.
It's prime time,
And they were really having slow fishing. So we were showing them photographs, and I'm giving them a bunch of the baits.
Yeah. And
I said, all I want is photographs of fish you guys are catching on these baits, right?
Yeah.
So the last night we're there, Phil Alaska, we have maybe 10 minutes left, right? And we're fishing kind of like a little pinnacle, little rock spot. I cast off, the thing just comes to a stop, and I'm fishing a pretty good sized bait, and it imitates those tilapia.
Tilapias, yeah.
And I took a black pin, and it was kind of like a bluish green looking bait, which is a perfect color of those.
Yeah.
I took a black pin and put a bunch of dots on them because those tilapia have those dots all over them, right?
Yeah.
And my rod just came to a stop, and it was a 4-piece travel rod by Fox.
Right, I've seen that.
With the small little Shimano on it. I mean, it's like a trout rod.
Yeah, I've seen you use it a lot.
It feels like a 1-piece rod when you put
it.
It
does. They're really nice travel rods.
Yeah.
But at any rate, I sat back and the thing just locks. I'm going, "Oh my God, that's a good one,"
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. And Narlin knows right away, right?
Yeah.
Fight that thing, bring up a 10-4 on a hookup bait. He was blown away. He says, "God, I love these baits."
Yeah.
So he hit me up on Facebook about 4 weeks ago. He goes, "We're out." He goes, "We tried to glue them together. They're shredded. We've done
How do we get more of these?"
And I gave him I gave him like 20 baits.
Yeah.
He goes, "We've done everything we can to save these baits. They're just gone. How do I get more?"
Yeah.
And so I said, "Your best bet of getting baits is have some of your gringo anglers that come down,
Yeah.
have them buy them and have them bring them down to you."
Yeah.
But I said I'd be talking to Chad at some point here. I was going to ask you if there's any way that we could ship baits.
Yeah,
to
we
Mexico.
can't ship to Mexico. That's the whole. I mean, Ensenada is like super popular. All the people in Ensenada
Yes, all the
use
cow-
Oh, you
hookup
mean
baits.
the red crab bait, maybe?
Yeah,
you think?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
and they all hit me up on Instagram and everything else all the time.
Okay.
How do we get baits? How do we get baits?
Yeah.
And it's just like we don't have it set up to ship to Mexico.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
just they don't. It's just, and we tried. It's hard to do it.
I guess we have to go to Bacharach.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. We'll make a
Bags
delivery.
of baits. Hotel room guide.
yeah,
for
yeah,
baits.
exactly, yeah.
We'll barter.
Barter system, exactly. Do that all
That
day
was
long.
an awesome story. These stories.
yeah.
You see these stories
Oh,
every time
yeah.
you're fishing, but it's just so funny when you think about people. Go, "I don't think those are."
I
gonna
love when
work."
people tell me it's not going to work.
I was fishing a halibut spot last year in Northern California. It's pretty well known, and the guys go out and they'll jig their baits up, and it's this beaky rig and catch them, put them in a live well, run them, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, I've got a good idea here.
Yeah.
And I grab out a half-ounce hookup bait, and put it on a rod, and I'm just casting it and jigging it, and cast it and jigging it, and It gets hit. Well, that was cool, Don. That was lucky. Nice.
Yeah, you lucky.
3 or 4 fish later, it was no longer lucky. It was like, yeah, those work.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, well, it's Matt up there. Yeah, that's who we were fishing with, Matt, right? Yep. Yeah, that's good friend of ours. He's been Matt's fishing there forever.
Yeah, and he's we don't ever say where it's at.
I know.
We just leave it alone.
But he's all about the hookup baits now. Yeah,
Matt
he's
really
a stick.
is.
That guy's a stick. He's a great hunter.
Matt to Clear Lake, and his son, his 12-year-old son, who's about 6'4", and
all these 12-year-olds are 6'4"
well,
now.
Matt's kids are, you know.
Well, all my buddies' kids are now too.
But we went out to Clear Lake fishing, and we just had a field day, and all hookup baits. Then we went up to Orville, and the water was a little low, so we ran all the way to the back of the North Fork. Got in some running water, and all we're doing is throwing hookup baits on the bank, just sitting off and letting it drift down with the current and lifting the rod up once in a while. I should have just let those guys go to town because they absolutely wiped them out. Those guys, when Matt and his son get fishing, they're really good at it.
Yeah.
And they're in love with hookup baits. He's a great guy for the company.
But he does a good job. He's on the ambassador program.
A lot of people know Matt.
And he knows places to fish Northern California ocean that most people don't even think about. And so it's nice to get a phone call from Matt and he goes, "Hey, you want to go fishing tomorrow?" "Sure. What do you want me to bring? Let's go."
Right. Yeah, right. I mean, it's just from a guy like that, that's all been live bait. Always. That's the only thing that works now. The only thing he uses is a hookup bait. Oh, I don't have to jig up live bait anymore, right?
I was out tuna fishing yesterday. I was out bluefin tuna fishing. We went down into Mexican waters, and we're fishing live bait. We're fishing heavy fall jigs, and I reached in the box and grabbed a 6-ounce hookup bait out, and I tied it on, and people are looking, you know, and dropped it down. I twitched it on the top to see how it dropped. Then I dropped it down about 250 feet. I didn't hook up a bluefin. Conditions were really tough.
Nobody hooked up a bluefin.
Yeah, it was about right. Not very many people. And that's bluefin tuna fishing sometimes.
Tuna
if you don't get the wind just right, or we went farther south and we could see surface foamers and stuff. It was great. You try to get in front of them, and they just move around the boat.
Oh yeah.
And I was just thinking, I kind of goofed up. If I'd have brought an ocean saltwater rod and say an ounce and a half hookup bait, I could have reached the bait, let it fall, and twitched it through, and I caught fish. Yeah. And it was like, you shouldn't have gone without those, Don. But graciously we gave a package of stuff to the captain. He's a very well-known captain. He's actually one of the better ones.
Yeah. How did he receive that?
Yeah, very much so. He says, I fished the little ones, but I see there's some bigger ones in here. So he was pretty happy with it. But it was nice to do that for him and his boat. I enjoy fishing out of his boat, and not every day you go fishing is catching, and sometimes you just have to realize,
especially with tuna,
enjoy
tuna more so than most fish.
First time I went tuna fishing, which was last year,
you hit it right,
and we caught a couple of, we were halfway through the first day, and I had a lot to learn. Fly lining and different stuff is new techniques. And so I did a lot of watching, a lot of learning. Just even grabbing a bait and put it on without knocking the scales off is a whole new school. And especially when a guy that caught 9 fish finally walks up and goes, "Don, if you quit knocking the scales off, you do better." Well, how do you grab it? And once you do it, you do it. But and
that's the awesome thing about fishing. You will never do it all. I mean, there's always something to learn.
If you go somewhere new, watch somebody else for a minute, and then go fish.
Right.
And then later on that day, hooked a big fish and landed it, and before we'd hooked it, we were figuring our fish processing bill would be about $150. Well, after I caught my big one, and then later that next night, my son caught his one that went 135 pounds. Ooh. Our processing bill went from about $150 to $850, and it was worth every bit of it.
There you go.
To go out yesterday and give it a shot, just to be out on the ocean and see it. It's a beautiful spot, and to see the bluefin foamers on the surface jumping and stuff.
It is.
You don't get to see that if you stay home.
No, exactly.
And
that's what you got to say is just the trip's got to be just out there for the experience, catching the tunas. The bonus.
Especially
if you expect every trip to go out there and you're going to catch tuna, you're going to be disappointed.
But the next one,
right? So. Did we get through everything? I don't know. There's still much more to do, but I think a margarita and taco. It is
margarita
Tuesday.
Tacos, man. That's
it is calling my name now.
Is that on the agenda for later on?
That is right now.
Right now?
Right now, we're doing margaritas and tacos.
Oh, okay.
So
it's so fun to get the three of us together.
Oh my god!
Well, there will be no laughter tomorrow on the boat at all.
Yeah, we will have
no laughter at all. And if I remember correctly, I was told lunch would be pretty spectacular because a certain
JoJo's
JoJo's going to take care of
boat
us.
lunches are always on point.
We're good.
Yeah, so
JoJo, I don't drink margaritas though, so none of those in a boat, okay?
So yeah, tomorrow we will catch no fish, and we will not laugh tomorrow.
I'm staying in San Diego.
Yeah, we know better than that. More trips to come.
Yeah,
more adventures to share with you guys.
And we'll share more of them with you. Absolutely.
Tres amigos.
Yes.